Venom 2, Let There Be Carnage, Screen Bros review. We went on another mandate. Steve, we always jump into a general synopsis with you. Go ahead, hit it off. Let's see what you got.
I got nothing because this movie is not good at all.
I didn't expect you to say anything else besides that.
Look, I wasn't a huge fan of the first movie, but I liked it for what it was. I understood what it was trying to do. I don't think a Venom movie works without Spider-Man. So right there, the whole idea of Spider-Man is just, or the whole idea of Venom is just stupid to me because there's no reason for him to be there. The whole idea of Venom is that he hates Spider-Man and wants to kill Spider-Man, and so does Eddie Brock. So then they come together and they create Venom.
Yeah.
So, okay, so then you get this movie, and that's all I got to say about it. Just...
It sucked.
Yeah.
I also think it sucked, but I mean, there's numerous reasons, right? After we went through our list, the writing was weird to me. I had a big problem with that because the first movie ended on. I loved the idea of the symbiotes coming from their planet because there's a whole comic book series where it's like they have this whole planet. There's a god, and I could.
Well, they allude to that at the end too, but it still doesn't do anything for me. Like,
I thought Carnage was one of the four to escape. I thought that was, or one of the two out of the four to escape. That's what I thought.
So
had happened.
you go back to the first movie, and yeah, there's different colored symbiotes, and there's a red one.
So that's where I was going, and I was okay. And I feel like they changed that up a little bit, where it was kind of he infected Woody Harrelson, who this is
so right off the bat, my number one biggest complaint about this movie is you're going into this movie, and for whatever reason, Eddie Brock and Cletus Cassidy seem like they know each other. But there's no backstory. There's no nothing. There's nothing in the first movie to kind of say, like, they know each other. And all of a sudden, it's like, all right, bring this guy in, and you're going to interview him because he wants you to interview him to figure out where he hid these bodies that he killed these people. But there's no emotion behind it because this is the first time we're seeing this character. So why do I care that this guy killed all these people? We're not seeing him kill these people. We're not seeing anything happen. All we're seeing is that we need to know that Eddie Brock is going to get his big break, and this is what it's going to be. But why does he deserve it? Why is Cletus Cassidy the one to say, I want Eddie Brock to interview me?
And I like, don't get me wrong, I love Woody Harrelson, but I don't know. We'd had this conversation briefly while we were in there, and I don't think it could have been that he didn't have enough lines, but I don't think he fit this role very well.
I think Woody Harrelson as an actor fits this role, but I don't think the writing fits him. Like, the dialogue that he's giving is terrible. So he can't really work with stuff, and maybe the direction that he was getting from the director was doing shit too to make him, like, just not feel it. I don't know. The movie just didn't work. Like, okay, yeah, you got Eddie Brock and Venom where they're the two, the odd couple trying to live together, which I've seen that already in the first movie. Why do we need to rehash that for 25 minutes of this fucking movie? Give me more background of Cletus Cassidy and why he's the psycho killer. Oh, he was abused by his parents and this and that and his aunt or whatever, and then he was sent to this terrible place and he meets a love interest and they want to burn it down. Okay, I've seen it a million times. Do something original. Give me Cletus Cassidy, who's the psycho killer for no fucking reason because that exists in the world.
That's what I was hoping for, to be honest. That's where it was leaning towards, but they tried to make substance out of something that shouldn't have been.
Well, it's a PG-13 movie, and you can't do stuff, and you can't show murder, you can't show people getting ripped apart or whatnot. Like, all the murders that happen from Cletus in this movie are either off-screen or you think he killed them.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So
there's no blood.
There's no weight to what he does, and it just falls flat. And the only thing that works in this movie to me is the character design of Venom and Carnage. Carnage looks amazing. There's some shots in this movie, especially in the end fight scene, where they're going for holy imagery and whatnot, and it looks
great.
good. And the fight scene albeit it doesn't make much sense when you start breaking it down, was pretty cool.
Yeah.
The only thing that's weird to me is he's like, hey, I'm going to show you me killing your love interest, but then he just walks away and goes up the fucking tower with her away from Venom.
Yeah, that ending scene was so weird too.
Sense.
Like I was expecting some kind of closure or something with Carnage, but he just spoilers, just bites his head off at the end, like with no holds bar. I was like, wait, what? What was? I was hoping for you to be my friend, and then wait, what?
Let's talk about how Carnage just gets created in this movie. Like in the comics or any other alliteration of this character, he's a symbiote from space and comes down and infects whoever until he gets to Cletus Cassidy, because they have to be, together and be symbiotic. And in this movie, he bites him for no reason. Right? So I feel like they didn't want to rehash the first movie. They didn't want to go, oh, it came from space, whatever. Okay, what do we come up with? Well, what if
I loved that
he's interviewing him and they get into something and he bites him? Okay, that could work. All right, so now we got to figure out a way for these two characters to have that interaction. No, we don't. We could just say that he wants Eddie Brock to interview him. Perfect. Done. Make it happen.
There we go. That's what I was expecting to happen. But no.
Stupid, lazy writing is what this is. And okay, we're going to get to it right now. The after credits scene where everybody is saying, yes, this is going to be amazing. I'm not looking forward to it. Because what are you going to do with this character in the MCU or whatever they're trying to do with it?
There's a huge fight for this too still, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Oh, yeah. With
so
Sony having the rights and everything.
I don't know how that's going to work out. I thought it was cool. I've been watching a lot of like the What If and the multiverse stuff, and I'm pretty sure that's what happened right then and there.
Well, that's exactly what happened. Yeah.
So,
they're trying. I've read some stuff too that, albeit, we've all saw the trailer for Spider-Man when Doctor Strange does that spell. This is the exact moment is when he's in that bed, and then boom, he's in Peter Parker's universe.
Yes.
But then people break it down and go, but how could that happen if that's the same simulcast that J. Jonah Jameson is doing at the end of the last Spider-Man movie, right? When they're outing him as Peter Parker.
Well, that could also what I thought. I didn't know if that's what people thought. I thought that was when the whole multiverse. If you watch Loki, when the multiverse started branching out, that's what I thought that was.
Okay, that's a good. Yeah, all right.
That's what I thought.
So then that could happen. That could have happened before the events of the new Spider-Man, right? Or during the last Spider-Man, where he gets brought out to the world to, hey, this is Peter Parker, and now Venom now wants to go after Peter Parker for some reason, licking the screen, saying whatever. Why? We know why, but it doesn't make sense for this character from that dimension, whatever you want to call it. Why would that Venom want to go after Spider-Man?
Yeah, this whole back to this movie. This whole movie was super weird. Not a lot of solid ground for the story. There was there's a lot of holes too. So there's a lot of stuff I didn't really enjoy, if I'm being honest. I
like the callback with the tornado from the Maximum Carnage game on the Super Nintendo. I like that. But did it have to be there? Like, I don't know.
No. I don't know. So let's go through some of these real quick before we already kind of talked about. So the story, whatever. The cinematography was,
there were some very good shots in this movie. Yeah. I'm not gonna deny that. Like, again, the end scene with the church, there's some really good imagery. There's some really good shots that show that they somewhat knew what they're. Andy Serkis directed this movie, so he knows what he's doing. But the writing, the dialogue, the way the movie progresses through the story, like you go from Eddie Brock and him having this discussion, he finds where the bodies are, or Venom finds where the bodies are, and then it's like flash forward and Eddie Brock is now a success again and he's moving up in the world. But they don't really show that. They just kind of show him in his fucking apartment like, yeah, you're doing better and this and that. And then me and Venom are going to get in a fight and go our separate ways. And
that was one of the few things that I've enjoyed for the first movie and the second movie is the whole Venom and Tom Hardy banter. It's great, or Eddie Brock.
It is great, but at what point do people not go, yo, this guy is always crazily talking to himself?
I like how people have accepted it. Some people have accepted it that are close to him. I thought it was funny. I love the little old lady in the market, minus her
Yeah,
weird
yeah.
monologue that she had, which wasn't even her. But besides that, I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah, and then the only part that most of this movie's cringe to me, but the part where he
Agreed.
goes to that whatever underground rave or whatever it was funny but
Unnecessary.
cringy and unnecessary.
Yeah.
Exactly. What are we getting there? He's basically having a inner monologue to himself out loud in front of all these people.
So I feel like something that some of
Okay.
these movies are trying to do is trying to be a little bit more modern with their dive into these comic books like that. I feel like that is something that I would see in one of the newer comic books for Venom is what I would. But it just doesn't work. It didn't work for this movie. 100% didn't work for this movie.
Again, I get it. I feel like they're trying to play into like, hey, it's okay to be different and whatever and blah blah blah. Okay, yeah, I agree with that. But why do you need to make that point in a Venom movie? Like, we're here for two things: Venom eating people and being stupid, and Tom Hardy just smiling at the camera.
Yep.
I mean, why else
Yep.
are we here to see this movie? Like,
I was there just to
and
see
to
action.
be perfectly honest, like, I think 30 minutes of this movie can be cut.
I feel like 30 minutes might have been cut with stuff missing. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So cut the shit that doesn't really need to be there and bring all that back so we can have that backstory for Cletus Cassidy. Yeah, okay, it's a big backstory already, but it's nothing that makes me go, I'm interested in this character or do I care about him? So then you have it where now, he becomes Carnage and Carnage is being Carnage, which is a shitty fucking thing, but there's no explanation that, oh, if you bite somebody and get his blood, you make a red one.
Yeah. It's a red one. I don't get it.
Okay.
That whole thing was my most disappointing portion of this. Is I was really hoping that they were going to continue that first story from the first movie where they escaped and then there's a red one there, blah blah blah, so on and so forth. Because I loved the comic that specifically brought them from their
Maximum
own
Carnage.
from their own planet. It brought
Yeah.
their own planet, and there was a symbiote. I thought that maybe they'd bring in the symbiote god in there. There's so many cool things that could have spawned from that. That was kind of a letdown now. Well,
And
maybe it's
again,
still
they
there,
touched
but
on it at the end when they're sitting in the bed, and he was saying, like, "Look, I've seen
I could tell,
numerous
yeah.
things over the light years and whatnot, and we are one big thing that is together." And then that becomes whatever happens with. I don't know. Maybe there's something bigger there that we're not seeing yet, but
Yeah, I don't know.
fuck, this movie just wasn't good. And for the people who are saying it's good, what exactly was good about it? What
I know I didn't like it, and you know me. Usually, I
what
try
do
to
you
play
sit
the
down
devil's
and
advocate.
see? Yeah, and I'm trying to, like I'm saying, I'm trying to sit here and just say, all right, this was good or this was good, but the pros do not outweigh the cons in this movie. The main point of this movie is the story and the writing, and they failed tremendously. The
Yes.
special effects most times look good. I still like in 50-50 with Venom being all black and just in the darkness all the time, so it makes it look kind of good, but it's really not looking good because they can get away with it because it's in the shadows.
That Carnage scene in the cell scene didn't look very polished to me compared to a lot of these other movies that they've brought out. If I'm being honest.
No, even the jail scene when he's breaking out, or if that's what you're talking about,
Yeah, that's
it just
exactly.
looks, yeah, it looks fine. It looks passable, but it doesn't look like a MCU finished.
Yeah.
Whatever. If you're going to go up with this, because you are. I mean, it has the tag at the front of the movie in association with Marvel.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man.
All right.
This movie just fell short.
All right. I think this one's pretty unanimous for both of us. But what?
Yeah,
what-
I don't even think we need to sit here and talk very much longer about
I
it.
don't.
'Cause there's nothing to dissect here.
There's really not. There's really not. 100%.
There's not.
What? What was your?
In and out. Done. What?
Yeah. Let's check this one off the list so we can move on. Next, what is your score, Steve? What'd you give this one? Bro score.
Honestly, going through our scale, I thought I was going to be lower than I was. I'm at a 66.
Oh, dude, I went lower than that. I got a 52.
And that's fine. I mean, my high marks were cinematography because I thought it looked good. Casting, I had it like a 6.
We have
But-
we have the same high marks. We have exactly the same high marks. But all the other ones, there was parts where I was just kind of a little devastated. Like the story was
not
a big
good.
one. Like I said, that was one of my low marks. Another one of my low marks was One of a Kind.
I thought I was going to be surprised by this movie because the first movie I was hot and cold with. Like, I like the idea of it. I like what they're doing with the character. I like the character of Venom, so to finally have him on the screen, and I thought maybe they would do something with Spider-Man in that first movie, because you have to. Like, at least something to let it go. But for it to be where we're at now, where he's the end credit scene, and it's kind of like, oh, now we're in a different dimension, and look at Peter Parker, I want to eat him.
Yeah. Super weird.
Fuck off. Like, it's not good writing.
Nope. No, I'm over it. I actually will watch this again, though, because I want to make sure that I think it's as bad as I think it is, because I was so surprised at how bad I ended up thinking it was as soon as we left. So, but after that, I guarantee you I chucked this out the window. My son wants to see it.
I am not going to watch this because I already got what I got from it, which is terrible movie writing. I'm not going to watch it again.
All right.
Ever.
All right. Well, in that case, I think we've talked about this enough. We have a couple more ideas coming out. We have a couple more movies we want to do. So
for sure, we're definitely going to do Eternals and the new Spider-Man, obviously. So that's our next 2 months coming up there. Eternals is November and Spider-Man is December. So look out for those reviews, obviously. And if anybody is watching, put some stuff in the comments. Say, hey, do this movie, or maybe go back in time and maybe do all the MCU movies, because that's been the talk of what we might be doing.
Yes, and if you disagree with us, feel free to let us know in the comments. If there's any points you think we missed out on, or if there's anything if you were one of those people that enjoyed this movie, just put it down below.
Tell me why I'm wrong.
Yeah, exactly. I love that. So if you could,
I know I'm not, but tell me why I'm wrong.
If you could, hit the like, hit the subscribe button. If you could share this, that's just as good. It's all fantastic. We appreciate all the support.
Fantastic.
We'll be back again soon. We appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Bye-bye.
Peace out.